You're now watching a video, but try to remember this morning when you woke up and you looked at yourself in the mirror. The question is, were you happy and did you feel that you were your best self and the best version of who you are today? I am asking this question because with the pandemic we have right now with COVID-19, the fact that many of us have less interaction with people around us, there's more distancing. Some of us are working from home. We have our kids more with us, and therefore our environment and our day-to-day activities has changed. Now the question is, do we feel that we are more ourselves with these changes, or are we looking forward to what it was before the pandemic? It is not here about the fact that there was change and we feel unsettled. I want to know, do you feel happier about who you are right now? Now, this is a very good question because if you're not yourself and you're not happy about yourself, who will take care of yourself? Take care of that beautiful mind you have, the beautiful growth mindset you are working on? Who will be able to achieve the vision you have for a better world? Welcome to my channel. My name is Alain Faber and you are here with me on a journey for growth mindset. We are working on our mind, our spirit and body. And in this video, we are talking about yourself and how we can make sure we are the better version or the best version of ourselves. When we think about who we are as a person, we have to keep in mind that we are an evolving version of our best self. Now, I remember when I was a kid, I wanted to be a truck driver. I wanted to be an accountant. I wanted to be a fighter plane pilot. I wanted to travel around the world, to explore cultures. And eventually I ended up going to university in physics because I had an idea that I wanted to change the world with the way energy was produced. My idea did not work. Physics didn't quite work out the way I wanted to. I turned to geology and graduated from McGill University with a geology degree, which was great. And when I left Quebec City for a trip around the world, because I had told myself it was time for me to do that, I traveled maybe 1,000 kilometers to Sudbury and I stayed there for 5 years. And during those 5 years, I had amazing experiences in geology. And that was, I think, the best job, one of the best time. And at the time, it was the best job I could have because I was exploring. I was working on a quest. I was looking for gold. I was meeting amazing people from the native community, from the local community in Sudbury. I was hiking in the forest mapping, and it was wonderful. The difficulties, though, is I was not home very much, and I had to make a change. And my best version of myself realized that I liked to share with others what I know. And that's when my idea of going into teaching came about. When I decided to go back to school after 5 years of work, I was 28 or 29 at the time, I think 28, and did a Bachelor of Education so I could become a teacher. I wanted to be a science teacher and it worked wonderfully. It was who I was. Now, over a few years, I went into 4 different schools and 3 different boards, and I'm in the same school right now. And I'm happy with what I'm doing because my one word is learn. And in doing the work I do, I'm learning more and more every day. I'm learning about who I am. I'm learning about my students and how I can help them the most. And my next adventure is with you in this YouTube channel, so I can share my perspective and ideas and philosophies on how we can have a growth mindset to make a better world. As you can see, my version of myself, my best self, has evolved over the years, and it's important. When you're looking for a growth mindset and your path, I see it as defining who you are every day and defining your vision every day. You can fine tune it. It's hard for me to, and I don't believe in the idea that we are finding ourselves and we are finding a vision. I see it as we are defining it. Now, sometimes our visions can be one that you create yourself, but you can also go with someone else's vision. For example, if you take Tesla and his vision of how the world can be, there's an amazing workers and leaders in that company because they decided that their vision was becoming the vision of Elon Musk to go on in different ways. Apple is another great example. We have a company with a product, it's true, but there's a culture behind it. Starbucks is a company, but there's a culture behind it. And people are getting closer and they better define their vision and their definition of themselves through the uh, the definition of a vision of somebody else. And that is great as well. Because people will say, well, you need to go to school, get a job, and from there get benefits so you can go on for a long time. For some of us, it is very hard to do that because sometimes we don't feel that we are satisfied with the situation. On the other hand, there are some people that I know, let's see, I had a friend who worked for about 20 years in the fast food industry. I once asked her why it was exciting for her. And I remember her telling me that she liked the process of new workers, new teenagers coming in, learning the ropes and seeing them develop as leader within the restaurant. And she could see how she can work with people to be better. And I asked her, well, don't you mind that there's a big turnaround of worker in the restaurant? And she said, no, I find it exciting because I find that by giving people their first job and giving them skills, then they can decide either to stay and grow, or they could decide to go somewhere else and continue to grow. And regardless of the situation, she was happy for that because she had done her contribution to make the world a better place. So there's a lot of different ways. Um, I have a lot of respect with kindergarten teachers because not something I see myself do. The little kids are amazing, but to be having 20, 25, or 30 around me all day, it's a bit tricky. However, I love teenagers and I think it's great. They're great. They question the way I do things. They want new ideas and they're still questioning and defining who they are. And I know some school teachers who refuse to think to go and teach in a high school. So we see we each have our place there. So we're here in this YouTube channel, and I do believe it's a pretty good version. Am I 100% myself? Well, I'm still self-conscious on the ideas that I can communicate in the way that I don't know if I have the correct wordings, the sentence structure is great. Sometimes I don't always know if I could do what I could do to make it better. And all of these ideas happen at the same time. However, I'm pretty happy with the situation right now. And that's a great place to be. Now, if you look at the situation right now, this is July 2020, and this is a 10-part series on health. The question is, do I feel that I'm physically healthy? I think I'm pretty good. Could I improve? 100%. And every day I do little steps to get better. For example, about 30 minutes ago, we did brownies. Now, instead of taking a piece that was this big, I took a little sliver, just very tiny, tiny, just to get a taste. Now, was it cheating? In some ways, yes. Was it better if I had not taken any? Well, I don't think so because I was happy in that to make the brownies and I wanted to have a little taste. I don't regret it. I move on. And that's a great place to be for me. That means that I may have to go and go on the stationary bike for a little bit just to take care of that. Now, if you think of my family, well, I feel quite happy because my kids are grounded. They somehow uh, they feel they comfortable where we are. Do they feel that they could improve in many ways? Yes. Do I am I here for them to grow? Yes. And do they ask me questions all the time? And it's good because it tells me that as a family, we're still continuously defining our better selves. And the last one is about my contribution. Do I have a healthy contribution to the world? I think so, because my contribution to the world is about education, is about sharing better ways of being, and I think I can do that. Could I do more? 100%. Could I do better? Well, I'm sure that technology-wise and organizing my ideas, I could do better. But ultimately speaking, I'm quite happy with what I'm offering you, and this is a great place to be. So, what will be the 3 tips for you to better define who you are as a person and be the best self you can be? The first one is for you to read more. I want you to go online. Most libraries and public libraries have audiobooks and online books, like ebooks, that you can borrow free. Sometimes there's some limits, maybe it's 2, 3, or 4 books per month, but still, it is free. If you prefer to have a hard copy or prefer to have a paper copy, go and get a book to the library or at the bookstore. You'll notice that it is the more you read, the more you will learn about other people's perspectives so you can better define who you are. And don't forget that thrift stores and secondhand bookstores are a great place for books. Now, my second tip for you is I want you on a piece of paper to write your name, and I want you to put it a few places around the house. Where you cook in the kitchen, in the washroom when you for the first thing you do in the morning, so that when you wake up and when you wander around the house and do things, you will see your name. You will, and when you see your name, I want the idea is we need to find a place where when we see our names, we feel happy and grounded. If you feel that you still have work to do, don't forget that we have our 10-part series on health, and we touch a little bit at a lot of different aspects of better defining ourselves. And the idea is when I see my name, I feel comfortable and I feel happy of where I am. Well, not always. I have to say that sometimes I get upset because a few things don't get done, but still, for the most part, I'm proud of my name and proud of people that see their names and they see that they've done great things so far. Great little things for some, but still great things. And knowing that tomorrow and the day after will do even more to make the world a better place. And my third tip is about using the agenda for you to write down and plan activities and things to do that help you better define yourself. In the agenda, you'll write down, I don't know, 10, 15 minutes for meditation, for yoga, for walk in the forest, 30 minutes to spend with your kids in the morning, spend time around the table at lunchtime and dinner time so that you can nurture yourself and the people around you. And that will be a great thing to help you be happy with yourself. So we're now here to my call to action. This is the 10th video in our 10-part series, and here are a few things for you. The first one is indeed to make sure your agenda is on the table every day for you to plan the events and the activities so that you can grow into to grow closer to your vision by defining little steps so that you can create what is needed to achieve it. When I think of a vision, I'm not talking about the vision that you can achieve next month. I'm talking about the vision, that a long-term vision of the best person you can be, a vision of 10, 15 years in the future. The idea is that's what you're aiming for. It's possible you may reach it earlier, all the better for all of you. But the idea of having a long-term vision is you will be able to forget all the little obstacles and the little failures here and there, and knowing that failures will get you to learn what you need to move further. And the reason I say that is What I want you to do is plan for the idea that on January 1st, 2021, so this is in 6 months, I don't want you to think about what your resolutions will be in 6 months. I want you to think about, okay, what can I do? What are the steps I need to take right now so that I can be a better version of myself by January 1st, 2021. So instead of looking at a starting point and moving forward as a New Year's resolution, I want you to see as the New Year's coming as a date for you to reassess what you've done so far. So we're halfway through the year. How about we decide to take half a year to do even more so that we can restart the machine to feel that we are becoming the best version of ourselves. And in 6 months, we can have a goal to achieve so that you'll be able to build on that next year. I know you can do it. I believe in you. On this, don't forget to put the comments at the bottom. I want to know what's the best version of who you will be on January 1st, 2021. I'm going to put here the link to a playlist for my best life journey on health. And I wish you a wonderful day. And I'll see you in the next video.